everyone! Following up on my last video where I did Hat Kid, I am now going to make Bow Kid. I'm using the same type of doll, a Hair Adorables doll, because I happen to have two of them, so I figured, why not? She's already been prepared, so I can just jump right in and paint her scalp. This part and also the face part are pretty similar to the last video, but everything else, like, the clothes, that's all different. After I put a couple layers of paint on her scalp, I go in and start blushing the face. Similar to when I made Hat Kid, I paint in the whites of her eyes first, then her irises, then do a black outline and her eyebrows. These faces are pretty simple, considering it's just a cartoony style video game, so I quite like it for that reason. On previous dolls, I didn't straighten out the wefts, so it made them look a bit less like hair, but I actually got the nerve to do it this time, and I have to say, they look amazing. I am definitely doing it like this from now on. After straightening it, I took a hot piece of metal and curled every single individual weft, which I do not show on screen because it's really hot and this was my first time doing it, so I didn't want to mess it up. First, I glued them on to the edge of her hairline, facing outward. Then, I glued them on in a circle, facing inward. After all that was dry, like, actually thoroughly dry, if the glue's still wet, then this will end up being a disaster, I took a hot butter knife and a straightener, to, heat the butter knife, and flattened the outside wefts so that they face inward. Here's the finished product, and as you can see, it looks like it should be held up with a headband or something, so I made that. I know this ribbon is a little darker than what her actual bow is, but I didn't have a lighter color, and also there wasn't any lighter colors in this thickness at the store. Her outfit has a lot more components than Hat Kid's outfit does, so I'm going to start on making her shirt first. I take the tunic pattern again and just trace it on, but a bit shorter than what it actually is. I didn't add any sleeves onto it because I wanted her arms to be able to fit into her jacket. I had to take in the middle of it a little bit for the neck to fit, but otherwise it's good to go, and I sewed together at the seams and then just sew it onto her body. So you won't be able to remove this afterward, but I don't exactly plan on it. Again with the tunic pattern, I just absolutely love this pattern. I traced it onto this green fabric and cut it out. I didn't actually think I would ever use this fabric. My partner actually gave it to me, and I thought I would end up using it as scrap fabric. But, here we are. Instead of using freight check, I just glue the ends. Once all the glue is dried, I sew it onto itself, and here it is. Now I can glue on some light blue buttons. Luckily I had these on hand and I didn't need to paint them, so that was lucky. This jacket was extremely difficult to get onto the doll given her bent arms, but I had to try it on anyway, so I shoved her arms through the sleeves, and suffice to say, this jacket is never coming off again. I'm going to show you how I made her shoes now instead of after I made her skirt, because technically because technically the way I made it, it does come before the skirt. First, I took these pair of ballerina shoes and covered them in clay. The problem with this, though, is that the clay didn't allow her feet to slide in, so when I attempted to try it on her feet, the clay cracked open and fell off. I attempted this method a couple more times until I got fed up and decided to sculpt right on her toes and just paint on her shoes. Trust me, if you saw the actual process, you would be frustrated as well. Besides, I think these came out better than those sculpted ones would have. For her skirt, I cut out this shape and these ribbons, and gathered up the ribbons in order to make her ruffles. The ruffles actually ended up making the skirt a bit longer than it's supposed to be, so it's not 100% accurate, but it is close enough. Creating and attaching the ruffles to the skirt base didn't take too long, so when it was time for me to turn the final ruffle, I used my iron for this. I chose not to show it on screen because, you know, hot iron, but I just fold it over like this and she's done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't know if this is the last video of A Hat in Time I'll make because I fell in love with the game, but we'll see how things work out. See ya!